Network. International Tit Bit is a show where we bring you news, events, and stories from across the world. Here we ensure that the real on-time news are packaged for the viewing pleasure of the people. And today, we will be looking at some numbers of stories, starting with anti-LGBTQ. Show ends in Malaysia after singer attacked anti-LGBTQ laws. On crisis, ethnic crisis disrupts India's parliament. On Zimbabwe, sex offender fed as 4,000 prisoners gain freedom. And in Ukraine, Zelensky sacked Peristakil ambassador to UK after criticism. And in Malawi, Chinese men convicted after racial abuse. These and many more stories we'll be looking at after this short break. Stay with us. Welcome back. This is International Tit Bit on Atlantic Television Network. British indie band The 1975 has cut short a gig in Malaysia, claiming officials ordered them off stage from breaching the country's anti-LGBT law. The band were heading the Good Vibes Festival in the capital Kuala Lumpur on Friday. During the set, singer Matty Headley attacked the country's anti-LGBT law before kissing bass player Rose McDonald. Homosexuality is illegal in Malaysia and punishable by 20 years in prison. In a shortage share online, Headley could be seen telling the crowd in a profanity-laden speech that the band's decision to appear in Malaysia had been a mistake. Deadly ethnic clashes in India's northeast rocked the country's parliament for a second straight day Friday, with the opposition blocking proceeding and demanding the sacking of the top elected officials of Manipur state, where more than 130 people have been killed since early May. The official Biden Singh belongs to Prime Minister Narendra Modi Hindu Nationalist Party. The opposition shouted a slogan demanding that all other parliamentary business be postponed and that a debate be launched on violence, starting with a statement by Modi. On Thursday, Modi broke more than 2 months of public silence over the ethnic clashes, telling reporters that a mob assault on 2 women as they were paraded naked were unforgivable, but he did not refer directly to the large violence. A Hong Kong court will hand down a closely watched decision over whether to ban the broadcast and contribution of Glory to Hong Kong, a protest song after the government asked it to do so in the name of the national security. The song was written during the 2019 anti-government protests and its lyrical call for democracy and liberty, but it has been mistakenly played at several international sporting events instead of China's national anthem. March of the Volunteer, the decision is expected next Friday. Critics worried about the ban will further shake the city's freedom of expression, which has become increasingly hindered under Beijing crackdown on a city, pro-democracy movement, and pose challenges to the operations of the tech giants. One person was killed and 3 more wounded when a man went on a stabbing rampage near exit 4 of the subway station at 2:07 p.m. in South Korea capital Seoul on Friday. The attack took place near the slim subway station in southeast Seoul, police said, adding that the suspect, who is a man in his 30s, has been detained by police at the scene. The police further said suspect did not look like intoxicated. We are questioning him as to a motive of his crime. They said the suspect was seen in a YouTube video captured by one of the individuals present at the scene, shouting that they didn't want to leave anymore as he was being apprehended by the police. Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva has signed an order to tighten guns control in a bid to halt a surge in firearm ownership. Under Lula's right processor Jabolensro, who was an almost sevenfold rise in registered users, limits will be placed on a stockpile of gun and ammunition, while certain weapons, including 9mm handgun, will be prohibited. The new control fulfilled a campaign promise by Lula, the president's banned a wave of political violence during last year's presidential election on looser guns controls. We will continue to fight for fewer weapons in our country. Only the police and the armed must be well armed, Lula said while unveiling the new stricter measures. The announcement came after several recent school shootings in a country that registered more than 5 murders per hour on average in 2022, according to the Public Security Forum an NGO. And from Malawi, a Malawian court on Thursday convicted a Chinese national accused of racism as exploiting children in relation to the series of online videos and ordered him to leave the country. Laws allegedly filmed children singing racist chants about themselves in Chinese, which they did not understand, and then saw the video on Chinese social media. A judge in African national capital of Lagos handed Luque, 27, a 12-month sentence after the man found guilty of procuring children to take part in entertainment and racial exploiting them. Amsterdam's council has banned cruise ships from city entered as the Dutch capital tried to limit visitors, members and curb pollution. Politicians say the vessel were not in line with the city's sustainable ambition. It means the central cruise terminal on the River IJ near Amsterdam's main train station will close. It is the latest measure to clamp down the mass tourism in the city. Cruise ships have become a symbol of a problem, with more than 100 mooring in the capital every year. The council has been trying to cope up the city, banning carbonized smoking on the streets of the red light district. In March, the city launched an online campaign urging young Britain men considering holding their bachelor's party in Amsterdam to stay away. Amsterdam has become a victim of its own popularity, attracting 20 million annual visitors, some down by its party city reported. And from United States, chip making giant Taiwan Semiconductor has delayed the start of production at its factory in the U.S. state of Arizona in a setback to President Biden's technology ambition. The firm says chip manufacturing will no longer start next year due to the such shortage of the skilled workers. The White House has laid out plans to bring more chip production to the U.S. It came after an ongoing trade now centered on the technology in testifying between Washington and Taiwan on Friday. On Thursday, TSMC chairman Mark Liu said production of advanced microprocessors at the Arizona factory in the southwest of the U.S. would now begin in 2025. During an earnings presentation, Mr. Lewis said the plant, which has been under construction since April 2021, faced a shortage of workers with the specialized expertise required for equipment installation in the semiconductors grade facilities. And from Cyprus, a Cyprus court on Friday found a British man who killed his alien wife in their home guilty of manslaughter, saying the prosecution didn't prove beyond reasonable doubt that a 76-year-old man committed premeditated murder. In an unanimous decision, the three-judge bench said the David Hunter decision to confiscate his 74-year-old wife Jancy, as she was sitting in a recliner in December 2021, was a spur of the moment's decision. It snapped as he could no longer stand seeing her weeping in pain. The court accepted witness testimony that Justice feared her blood alignment could develop into full-blown leukemia and has repeatedly pleaded with her husband to take her life because she did not want to share the fate of her sister who died of the same disease. The Vatican is pressing ahead with a plan to try to unite Ukrainian children taken to Russia during the war with their families. A senior veteran official said The effort follows the explicit request by Ukraine, and Russia has expressed an apparent willingness to engage in the process. The Vatican officials spoke to reporters that the plan late Thursday after Pope Francis' peace envoy Cardinal Matteo Zuppi returned to the Vatican from Washington. The officials spoke on condition of anonymity according to the Vatican protocol. Zuppi, the veteran of the Catholic Church Peace Initiative, has met with the President Joe Biden on Tuesday following earlier mission to Kyiv and Moscow. In a Russian capital, Zuppi met with one of the presidents, Vladimir Putin's foreign policy advisor, Yuri Hoskov, as well as Maria Lufka-Belokas, Russia's commissioner for children's rights. And on crisis, Israeli force shot and killed a 17-year-old Palestinian boy in the occupied West Bank Friday. Palestinian health officials said the latest bloodshed in more than a year-long cycle of violence that has gripped the region. The boy, whom Palestinian health officials identify as Mohammed Fraud Atta al-Bayed, was shot in the head by the Israeli force during unrest in the village of Safa, north of Ramallah. The village has been in a target to attack by the Jewish settler in a recent week. The Palestinian news agency Wafa reported that Israeli forces had fired live ammunition, tear gas, and Stern Gerard during confrontation with local residents. The health ministry confirmed that at least one person was shot in the chest. The Israeli army said that the member of the paramilitary border police unit opened fire forces. It confirmed that the person was hit by gunfire but gave no further details. Armed men attacked an 18-member team of Doctors Without Borders working at the key hospital in Sudan's war-torn capital of Khartoum, the aid group said Friday. The MSF medical team was stopped at the road on Thursday while transporting supplies to the Turkish hospital located in the district of South Khartoum, the aid group said. The armed men first questioned the MSF team about why it was in Sudan, then started beating some of them. After arguing about the reason for MSF presence, the armed men aggressively assaulted our team, physically beating and whipping them, the group said as its website. One of the drivers was briefly detained, MFS added. The group did not say whether the attackers were in uniform or provide other detail. Sudan has been rocked by the violence since mid-year when tension between the country's military led by General Abdel Fattah stood out among those vigorously celebrating as they walk out of a jail. He grinned and waved his hand in the air and shouted the praises of Zimbabwean President Emmerson Mnangagwa, who ordered the amnesty for some offenders to his congregation in prison. Mnangagwa is honest, my friend. Mnangagwa is sweet. The man yelled at the attracted an attention of the television news camera at Harare Center prison in the capital city. But what first appeared to be an old man being given a second chance at life has transformed into a much more contagious moment for the Southern African nation. The white-bearded man, Bobby Makaza, was convicted of raping a preteen girl and has served 4 years of a 16-year jail sentence when he was released. A prominent hardline nationalist who accused Russian President Vladimir Putin of weakness and indecision in Ukraine was arrested Friday on charges of extremism. A signal, and Kremlin has toughened its approach with hawkish critics after last month's abortive rebellion by the Wagner mercenary company. Igor Struvkos was convicted of Malaysia Airlines passengers jet that year has argued that a total mobilization is needed for Russia to achieve victory. He recently criticized Putin as a non-entity and a cowardly mediocrity. The petroleum dealers in Kashmir, Pakistan have threatened to hold a nationwide strike from Saturday as they are dissatisfied with Shehbaz Sharif-led government on its failure to increase their profit margin, a media report said on Friday. Speaking at a press conference here, Pakistan Petroleum Dealers Association Chairman Samullah Khan expressed their frustration over the government's inability to raise their profit margin to 5% on the sale of two major petroleum products. The Express Tribune newspaper reported currently fixed at Rs 6 per litre, the 5 per litre margin could amount to over Rs 12 per litre given the prevailing petrol and diesel prices of Rs 253 per litre and Rs 253 per litre, he said. The latest fortnightly work for determining petroleum product prices effective from July 16 indicated that the dealers were receiving Rs 7 litres instead of the claimed Rs 6 litres. We will go on a short break. When we return, we'll look at the rest of our story. Stay with us.
Hey, welcome to the StarTimes 35th anniversary celebration. To say thank you to every StarTimes family for being an integral part of our journey, StarTimes has decided to give you a price slash on decoders. Yes, we are slashing the price of our antenna decoder from 8,900 naira to 7,500 naira and the dish decoder from 13,300 naira to 9,900 naira. But that's not all. Existing subscribers can recharge for 2 months on their current bouquet and get upgraded to the next higher bouquet. And if you recharge on the classic or super bouquet, you'll receive a fantastic reward of extra 15 days of free viewing. You can enjoy our top local and international content. So, what are you waiting for? Quickly, visit any StarTimes outlet around you to recharge or buy your decoder between June 12th to August 31st to enjoy this fabulous offer. Wow! Yay! Let the celebration begin! StarTimes. Entertain your family.
Welcome back. This is International Tit Bit on Atlantic Television Network. If you're just joining us, you are welcome. Joining us in the house for today is a legal practitioner, Gogonte Obidaya. You're welcome, sir. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much, sir. All right, let's go straight to our story for discussion for today. All right, this one is coming from Ukraine. We told you that Zelensky sacked Praise Starco ambassador to UK after criticism. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky has sacked his country's ambassador to the UK. Vadim Pristaliko has recently criticized the president's response to a row over gratitude for British military aid. He said he had called Mr. Zelensky promised to take the UK's defense minister every morning. Unhealthy sarcasm. Kyiv gave no official reason for the dismissal but confirmed that Mr. Pristaliko was no longer ambassador. Earlier this month, Ben Wallace said he has warned Ukraine that its allies were not Amazon, saying Kyiv needed to show gratitude for weapons it received in order to process Western politicians to give more. He was speaking at the NATO summit after President Zelensky criticized the military alliance for delay in making Ukraine a member. Mr. Wallace remarked that had stirred anger to Kyiv, and the latter said his word has been somewhat misinterpreted. UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak reacted by saying he had been struck by how much Ukraine valued the UK's support. Mr. Zelensky asks how else they can show gratitude. According to him, he said they can wake up every morning to appreciate the ministers if they want, that they should write to them to tell him how he can thank them. And of course, they are seeing this as sarcasm and unhealthy. How unhealthy do you think Zelensky's statement is in this story right now?
All right. Looking at the situation, the foundation, the historical antecedents that characterize the Ukrainian-Russian conflict, particularly bearing in mind the implications of such conflicts in international law and international politics. Of course, we have followed up the crisis and we have read so much about the crisis and how instrumental the UK has been to Russia in ensuring that they were able to withstand, build a formidable force to prosecute the war. Of course, for me, I do not feel that such move by the Ukrainian president is qualified as a sarcasm. For me, it's not. It is on record that the Ukrainian president received so much support from the Western world, particularly the United Kingdom and the US. So if the president feels that it is necessary to appreciate the UK government, the Ukraine and British government, I think there is nothing wrong with that. For me, the president is in order. There's not like much sarcasm in that situation. It is something that every president must do. That's what we call diplomatic relationship. UK enjoys a very good diplomatic relationship with Ukraine, and as such also, UK was able to come up fully to support them to prosecute the war, to defend the territorial integrity of Ukraine. And in that situation, there's nothing wrong with the president reach out to appreciate and to commend the UK government, the British government for the support as well. So I don't think it is a sarcasm. For me, it is not.
Now, looking at how Zelensky actually put this right up, if we want us to wake up every morning and be thanking the ministers, we can do it. And looking at the fact that Zelensky is very diplomatic in what he says and what he does, don't you think there is something behind this write-up? Because it seems it's only Snag that noticed that Zelensky actually appreciated US, and Wallace is not seeing it, and likewise the ambassador that has just been sacked. Don't you think there's something more that Ukrainian president has not done? Because if one person is supportive for something and about three don't, it means that a lot is behind that needs to be questioned.
For now, I do not think so. Of course, we agree that the Ukrainian president is very diplomatic. He's a man who understands international politics and diplomacy also. Also, understanding the fact that this, what Ukraine is going through at this time, at this point in time, is something that they cannot do it alone without the cooperation of other people, without the cooperation of the with other world powers. They will not be able to come up fully to defend their territorial integrity, right? So, of course, the president is expected to diplomatically follow up the situation, but they need more support. They need more military heads. They need more financial support from the Western world to be able also to stand tall and to defend their territorial integrity. So, for me, I feel that it's one of those things like trying to ask for more, trying to diplomatically enter into solidify the relationship that have existed between Ukraine and the UK. So there is no big difference. For me, it is also permissible under international politics also. That's what we call diplomacy, international diplomacy. So a person has to be diplomatic. A president has to understand the intricacies, what they really want, and how to get it. I feel that Zelensky is being smart, all right, and trying to romance with the British people, and in a bit trying to ask for more support. Because as far as I know, the war is still in force, it's still raging, and they need more support. They need more military support and more financial support also. They need more humanitarian support also, because the material conditions of the people in Ukraine is quite below the standard. And these are some of the things that the Ukrainian president is putting into consideration. Because without that, they will not be able to come up, not be able to protect their people. They will not be able to protect the Ukrainian people. They will not be able to defend their territorial integrity. So it's like trying to open up the diplomatic relationship between the UK and the Ukrainian people, so they'll be able to ask for more. So I think the president understands what he is doing. Remember, the president has the power. The president is trusted with the authority to think out what is right and what is best, and what also can properly meet the interests of the people, of the Ukrainian people. So in times of war, in times of peace, the president is expected to take measures that will help them to get what they want. You understand? So for me, I feel that the president is in order, and the president understands what he's doing, and being also a president, you understand diplomacy also. There's how to get much more support from the Western or from other world powers, because of the dimension the war is being prosecuted. So that is my take.
Okay, now let's look at Zelensky's sacking Pristaiko. Do you think it's just about the criticism, or there is more to it? Do you think there is something accumulated issues that lead to his sacking? Because if it is just about criticism, I think everyone has a freedom of speech. Do you think that is enough for Zelensky to to present his sacking letter to Pristaiko?
Of course, it is a common knowledge that as an appointee of government, you don't speak, you don't criticize the government openly. It is undiplomatic. It is wrong, totally wrong. You cannot disagree with your president openly. That is wrong. To other countries also that Ukrainian people are not organized, are not stable politically. So I think the president, what the Ukrainian people need at this time is political stability. But any measure of political instability will lead to a lot of chaos, will lead to a lot of confusion, and will further deteriorate the chances of protecting and defending the territorial integrity. So the president is right. For me, it is right. No president in the world will tolerate such open criticism, right? So it is better for you to resign than to be in government and also to criticize your president or to criticize your appointee openly. It is appointed rather openly. It is better to resign from government, right? It is undiplomatic. It is against public policy. It is against the interest of government. It's even against the national security question of the Ukrainian people. Because as an ambassador, your conduct must be in furtherance of the interests of your people, particularly the security interests of your people and the economic interests of your people. Once, as an ambassador or anybody at all representing a government in foreign land, in foreign territory, takes decisions, make comments, or exhibit characters and manners in a manner likely to prejudice the interests of his own country, and that is tantamount to dismissal. So the president is right. It's not as if it's not all about the gravity of what he has done. It's not about the gravity of what he has done, but it's all about the implication, the legal implication and the political implication of what he has done. So the legal implication is that amounts to repudiating the authority of the president. And you cannot repudiate the authority of the president and expect the president not to fire you. And expose Ukrainian people to more political instability. Like, I remember I said Ukrainian people has to be limited. Even if it must come, it shouldn't come from an officer of government at the level of an ambassador. So I feel the president of Ukraine is. I'm not holding brief for the president, but for my as someone that has much understanding about international relations and international law, I feel that the president was right to have done that, because the signal you sent to the international community shows how stable your government is, how